Okay, so I've got to tell you about this couple of very interesting hits that Julianne got basically when she did the last reading for me, which was um, let me look because I want to be very accurate with this stuff. March 17th, 2021. Yeah, so last reading, March, which actually was the 26th, when I actually copied this over here. But the date of the reading was the 17th of March. So, again, she does this channeling. She's like, for most people, Joe, it's usually like 10 minutes. I said the guides come through and they say what they have to say or whatever for the person. She goes, with you, I'm out here for 35, 45 minutes sometimes. And you got 3 or 4 or 5 of them coming in. She's like, it's crazy. They like gang in line to talk to you. I'm like, wow, that's great. That is pretty incredible. I feel I'm honored by that. But so I know now, like when I get a reading, a channeling, like it ain't gonna be no 10-minute channel. Like you better be ready for a half hour. And this was one where she goes, okay, well they're telling me now before we get started, you're not to ask any questions. Then this one, just listen. And I go, okay. And usually I don't usually ask. It's like very rarely will I ask something, but sometimes I do. And then okay, well, I want to ask something else. All right, let me ask something else. Kind of at the end. But she's like, they're telling me no questions on this one. Just listen. I go, okay. And it was good because I didn't have any questions either. Like she didn't even have to say that. Actually, I was like, oh, I wasn't really going to ask anything. It was something I just needed to hear. So anyway, she goes over a lot of different stuff, and I'm not sure if it was okay. So there's 2 things she got. What I'm trying to remember is, I think one of the things she said was when I had a channeling session from her back in January, end of January, I think, and then the next thing she got was this one in March. So there was 2 things during channelings. I don't think it was the same channeling. Now that I think about it, I think it was 2 separate channelings. The last 2 she did. And one, some of the stuff you don't have to wait and see. Like she's just telling you stuff. You don't have to like wait and see if it's going to come true. It's just something you need to know. But sometimes there's stuff she's telling you, this is going to happen or whatever. Be prepared for this or whatever. Like it's good. So I'll start with the first thing, and I'm going to have to give you very little detail. She said I would meet somebody, and gave me very specific details about something this person has. Basically an object that they have, something they have like that, not like some information, something they have. And it's a very, very uncommon object for anyone to run into somebody that they have, first of all. Extremely rare. And after I heard it, I'm like, how the hell am I going to run into somebody like this and then just know it? Well, that happened. And I was shocked. And this happened fairly recently, several weeks ago. And I go, oh my God, I know. I already knew as it was happening right in front of my face. I go, oh my God, I know what this is. You're that person. I'm like, and I actually had to tell the person a little bit about why I was just said that. So anyways, I meet this person. That's one thing. And again, I'd like to tell you more on that, but I'm going to just tell you that that's enough. The circumstances, where I actually was when this happened, like crazy. So the next thing, which was the last reading, by the way, her links are in my description box. New Hampshire Metaphysical, it's nhmetaphysical.com. It's in my description box of all my videos. You can click the link, and I think it takes you right to the practitioner directory. She's first on the top of the list, then Richard Woo Woo Dude, and then some other psychic people, mediums and stuff that she must know or network with that are also on there. But anyways, I told her this morning, I'm like, hey, I have to do a video about you. You might want to get your schedule thing. You're probably going to get some people booking scheduled. It happens every time I talk about her, or anybody for that matter, like a psychic. Oh, Joe, how do I contact that person? How do I contact Woo Woo Dude? Right here. Just go to woowoodude.com, or you could go to Julianne's site. It's right there also. Anyways, So I'm listening to this last night because every now and then I'll go back and listen to some of the old channeling she did for me. And I'm just going to tell you real quick. She has told me some incredible things about that mountain in New Mexico and what's inside potentially. Things that I was not on my radar, not even looking for, never would have looked for. Nothing to do with, finding treasure or anything else. Incredible. And again, if she didn't get this other stuff right, I'd have to sit here and go, well, maybe she'll be right. I don't know. I know she said it, but, she has hit too many things with me out of control. Things she would never, ever, ever know. Things I've never made public. So, you know what I mean? So anyways, I'm listening back to it last night. And because you should do that when you get a reading with her, record it on a little audio device or whatever, and listen back more than once, because you're going to catch things that you forgot about. Oh yeah, I forgot I need to do that. Or, oh, she told me this. You're going to need to listen to it several times. Each one she does for you, I'm telling you. There's just so much information, you won't remember it all. So I go back. It's been a while. Let me go listen to it for like my third time. And I'm listening last night, and it comes up. So first of all, I'll tell you what she said. The Queen, meaning my wife, the Queen, and I'm going to paraphrase just to, she's had a few sentences, but I'll just paraphrase. The Queen, it's good for the Queen to be active and do things, and basically we see her doing things, helping locally, perhaps a charity or something of interest to her locally would be good for her to help. You will start getting what she calls the silver and the golds. She just means income. When she says that to me, she just means the income's coming in. You have income coming in. So the silver and golds will be coming in, and the Queen will use them to write a check for a charity or something local to her and the kids to help. This is good. This is, it's good. Good to do such things. The gold and silvers will be there for her to do this. So she told me this back March 17th, right? What was the crypto market then versus now? It was a lot higher now. Not that it was hugely higher, but still, And yes, some major profits have come in for me with crypto, and of course my Patreon's doing very well. So that's monthly income. We've got money to help people, and we've helped some people and helped some things. I've helped Fred the Indian a few times, actually, in recent times. He's needed gas money to go, halfway across the lands to get to some Indian tribe to do ceremony with them, and he doesn't have the money. And I said, listen to me. Look, when you need the money, if you need to do something like this, just tell me, hey Joe, can you make an offering or something? Just tell me. I'll make it happen. You don't have to, because he'll go make something and spend a few days cutting a piece of wood into this beautiful little, artifact thing, and then painting it and making it look really nice, and then selling it for a couple bucks to get gas money to go do that. And I'm like, well, I can appreciate that, but I'm thinking, no, you were putting my life for some other reasons, dude. You don't have to you do it if you want, but you don't have to do that. You just contact me, and you just let me know, and I'll just, you got PayPal? Yeah, okay, I'll just PayPal you, a few $100s or whatever it is, $300, $400, $500. I'll send it to you. And there's been some times where he's called, a few times. Hey, I need it. I need some help. Hey, no problem. And he's given me things. He sent me things. He's worked with me. He's got a lot more work to do. He's going to be taking me to some incredibly sacred sites that no normal jabron could go to. He's already got the calling that he has to do that for me. And he's going to set up a teepee at one of my locations. I don't know if it's going to be at, when I'm up in New Mexico, doing something up there, which he's kind of close to that because he's in Arizona. If I'm Airbnb-ing up there, or if I'm down here, he said he'd come to my house in Florida, set up a teepee. He's like, we got some stuff to do, and I'm going to have to set up a teepee for you. And I'm like, oh, okay. So anyways, I've been using some of my income to help and some friends of ours, have needed some things. So anyways, my wife hasn't really done anything. And all of a sudden, fairly recently, the homeschool place that we use is in need of a much bigger building. And a church is for sale. And it's big property, nice multiple buildings, but it's $1 million or so. And they were actually going to ask a little more than that, but they found out she was going to try to get it, this lady. So they're like, we'll sell to you for $1 million if you can get the financing or whatever. And so she's trying to get the financing, but since it's such a lot of money, it's hard to get the financing from normal sources, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, we need $50,000 down to even attempt this. She goes, but I think we could easily make the payments based off of the income and everything that I know, and we can rent some of the stuff out for other things, there's plenty of space. So she's like, we can handle that. So she's trying to raise $50,000. So I told Evelyn, I said, well, let's just watch it. Let's see how much she can raise. So my wife already sent in, I think, a couple of grand, initially. And it's up to like 40,000 of the last few days. And there was only like 5 days left. And this was like 2 days ago. And so like Thursday is kind of like the day before the last day or something like that. And I said, well, just watch it till the last day and let's see what's needed. And if it just stays at 40, I said, you know what? We've been blessed with this stuff, this crypto and everything that's happening, Patreon people. Like, we could write that check. Like, it'd be no problem. And she goes, well, that's what I was thinking. I wanted to see if you would be okay if I did that. And I go, well, yeah, sure. So let's see what happens. So she emailed the lady last night because we're getting close, and she was like, oh my God, I'm in tears. Oh my God. That'll be so wonderful. And she goes, look, even if for some reason we can't get the loan, because she has a private person or entity that does it now because it's easier to do it through them than standard. She goes, well, even if for some reason it just doesn't happen, she goes, we have to have a bigger building. We've got to get moving. It's just growing too big. And again, with all this COVID shit, I'm sure their numbers are just increasing with people saying that F this, I'm going to homeschool now. I'm tired of this shit. Government, schools, masks, the hell with it, because they don't play that garbage there. So anyway, she goes, I'll be using it. If we don't get that building, it'll be the next building, whatever happens next, if we can't get that one, but we really want that one. So she was very, very happy. So my wife contributed to a local cause / charity type of thing with the kids. My kids go there. And she told us this before my wife had any clue about this, basically. And again, that's not something I remembered from the channeling. I'm listening to other stuff she's telling me about some things she saw me doing in the future and the amount of following that I had in the future. And it's not from crypto, by the way. The massive following that I'm going to have, it's not from crypto and calls and that stuff. It's not that. It's what I will be doing, what advancements I will have achieved spiritually, psychically type stuff that I'm going through will be pretty insane. And people are going to just say, we got to follow how the hell this guy did this, just for whatever reason. Maybe they want to expand or open things themselves, unlock things. But I'm not in any position right now to share things with you on that, like, I'm like jabroni, slightly above jabroni level, you know what I'm saying? So I am progressing. Again, my dreams and stuff, I don't come out here and share all my dreams. I have so many dreams, which I've never had like this before, that you would just get tired of me coming, all right, Joe, talk about, for God's sakes, tell us something else. No more dreams, So I rarely come out now and tell you about my dreams, unless it's something like, oh, wow, just got some mass shooting dream. Oh, they had a small submachine gun and Uzi. Oh my God, breaking news, a submachine gun was used, days later, like, whoa, that's interesting. So, yes, I'm just so happy these people have come into my life, man. All these psychics that I know, all of them. But the only ones who were guided that, okay, you have to work with this guy. Spirit's telling me this. That's Woo Dude and Julianne. The other friends that I have not been guided that, oh, you need to work with Joe. So this was a very specific task given to those two individuals to work with me. And I respect that. I'm very honored that they reached out to me to, in the beginning. Of course, it was mainly Woo Woo Dude. He's like, oh, my girlfriend, you gotta do a channeling session. That's kind of fun. I'm like, oh, yeah, I've never had that. I've never done that. I've seen it a couple times, but I've never done it. He's like, yeah, you might enjoy that. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I heard she did one for me that was before we connected. Just she goes, I'm gonna do like a quick one, just to let them say a few things to you, and I'll just send it to you in an email or whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay. So she sends me this little file, and I'm watching the video, and I'm like fascinated by what they're telling me and how she's speaking and the words she's using and stuff. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. It's kind of weird, And then I'm like, okay, well, let's do one in person. I'm ready. So we scheduled it, and again, the first one, that was like 10 minutes. The next one was like a half hour or so. And I don't know if multiple came through the very first one, multiple entities, or just the one at first. Maybe it was just the one at first, but it's very fascinating. And, again, you're listening, but again, your little BS meter's up. I'm like, even me, who's deep into woo-woo, is she really channeling something that knows, like really knows this stuff? But then she got into some, maybe not in that session, but she got on some stuff in another session. And I go, okay, well, Woo doesn't know that. YouTube doesn't know that. My friends don't even know that. Matter of fact, nobody knows that. My wife and I know that. That's it. Huh. Okay. Now I'm like, whoa, okay. And believe me, I wanted to believe in the beginning. I wanted to. But, even me, I do need something, a little bit of, can you just prove something? Prove you are what you say you are, prove you got something here, And she did, and she has. Holy crap. So, that's just something that was amazing that I never picked up on. That 3 times now I've listened to it, and the 3rd time now that my wife and I are about to write this check in a matter of days, or a couple days now. Oh my God, it makes sense. Holy shit, you're gonna write a check. Not PayPal, not send some money, which would have been broad. You're going to send some money to a charity. That would have been a hit. Your wife, the queen, she's going to write a check to something local, near and dear to her, and the kids, and whatever the word she used. Like a charity or something. Wow. And here we are about to write the check. And I could easily go on Patreon and go, hey guys, or maybe even on YouTube, guys, listen. Remember that video I did a while back? How many of you are millionaires? And a bunch of you, like a shit ton of you were like, oh, I am. Thanks to the White Dove Theta call, mainly that coin alone. I could easily go, guys, can you, you talked about doing good with your wealth, right? We all talked about this, right? Yeah. I need 10 grand for this charity cause. You guys want to pitch in on it? I could do that. And they'd be there in a heartbeat. But I'm not. This one is for us. Evelyn and I got this. And maybe a few more thousand will come in anyways by the time Thursday gets here from other people locally. And, oh, you only need to give us 3,000, to top the 50. But I don't care. I don't care if it sits at 40 and I got to come up with 10K. I'm coming up with 10K. And it's not going to be an issue. So we're going to literally write a check for it. That's the conversation. We're going to write her a check. That's what my wife said. And Julianne says the queen's going to write a check. So one thing I didn't know was, and thank God she told me, like later on, Julianne, I normally don't let people like record me video and stuff. Like I just do voice. She you're the only one that I knew it was okay to do with you like that. And I'm like, oh. I'm like, well, shit. You said something now. Are you kidding me? I could have at any time played a clip or something of the session you did for me, or multiple sessions now. To say, hey guys, look at this. Check this out. I was like, you didn't tell me that until now, man. I was like, holy crap, I could have done that, and maybe you wouldn't have liked that. She goes, well, yeah, but I'm telling you now. I'm like, all right, good. So I know not to play any like live channeling of her. And I'm not sure. It could be, she's never done that. There's a lot of trolls out there who might say some nasty shit, and it would piss me off too. And I'd have to ban you off my channel for the rest of your effing lives because you just don't know how to talk to people. But I didn't do that, so thank God I didn't, because there would have been some trolls, and she'd been like, no, 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 don't paste it, don't post that. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't know. So thank God I didn't. And or else, I mean, I could play the audio technically right now. I could play the audio and let you hear it, but that's my personal reading. I'm just gonna let it ride. It's my shit. And if you want some, you want a channeling session, and again, I'm telling you, even if it's, you're kind of curious, I've never done anything, just do it for like once and just see. She'll take crypto too, I think. You might want to ask her when you reach out. Normally it's all automated on the site, I think, though. It goes to her PayPal or something. But I mean, you may say, hey, well, I don't want to do PayPal. Can I do crypto? And maybe she'll do something with you with crypto. I don't know. But at least once, I'd say it's an interesting thing to happen. It's fascinating to hear what she has to tell you. Just really, really neat. And I'm sure you're not going to hear the same things that I've heard, and some of the intimate things she told me, like my shit in New Mexico, the mountain, and many things about that. Holy shit. Like, believe me, I want to be out there all the time. I want to get into that effing mountain bad. And now it's at the point where I don't care about the damn Spanish treasure thing that I went out there looking for to begin with. And she's like, yeah, it's there. But we had to get you out there for some reason. That was the reason. And it's here. You'll find it. But that's not the treasure. She's like, Father, that's not the treasure. The treasure is what you get out of that mountain. And some other things inside the mountain you're not ready for. You won't believe are down there. Oh, okay. So, again, I look forward to that. She says this decade of the 2020s, so 2020 to 2029 or 2030, she said this decade is when you make some pretty incredible, massive discoveries, some of which I may be able to publicly state, and I will be like, holy shit, this guy's all over the news. That kind of shit. So I'm like, wow, I'm just thinking about this. But, and I got little Ian, he's about to be 16 months old. So, I mean, from now until 2030, he could be 10 years old by then. I mean, hell, when he's 7 or 8, that's, a few years from now, of course. But that little guy's going to be out there with me for sure. And my kids, my girls, they're going to be doing their own thing, getting their lives going. They're going to be, 19, 20, 21. They're not going to be too interested going to New Mexico with Daddy. As a matter of fact, only one of my kids really likes going out there up into the mountains. But anyways, New Hampshire Metaphysical, it's nhmetaphysical.com. It's in the link description below. And just at least once you're going to want to do this. And it doesn't have to be right now, but just think about it. Maybe go to bed and ask your guides when you go to bed at night, should I do this reading with Julianne? Should I do this channeling session? Please give me a dream tonight. And see what happens. Just see if you have some interesting dream that night. Like, okay, I think that's confirmation that I should. So who knows? Take care.